Hello and welcome to another episode of Rachel Rogers TV. I'm Rachel Rogers and today we are going to cover a topic that I get asked about all the time. Now, what I usually get asked is, how does this whole trademark process work? I want to do it, but I don't really get it. Can you break it down for me? I absolutely can, and that's what I'm going to do in today's episode. Now, all trademark applications start with a trademark search. So if you haven't done that already, make sure you check out our other episode of Rachel Rogers TV where we cover trademark searches at length. But I'll just tell you that the main point of the trademark search is to make sure that someone hasn't already registered a trademark for something very similar or the exact same thing that you want to register. Now, your first steps for trademark registration are going to be putting together your trademark application. Now, your trademark application has three essential components that need to be in the application. So the first one is you have to know which classes of goods and services your goods and services fit into. So that means that if you're selling coaching workshops and coaching programs and one-on-one coaching, you're most likely going to be in class 41 because that is the class that covers that type of service. However, if you're selling, for example, online courses and downloadable ebooks and audio recordings and video recordings, then you're going to be in class 9, which covers digital products. Now, the second thing you need to have ready for your trademark application is a specimen. A specimen is simply your way of showing the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office proof that you are actually selling this service or that you are actually selling this product. So the specimen can often be just your website, or it could be the product packaging for your product, or it might be your marketing materials. So there are a lot of different ways that you can provide specimens. Usually the website is a good start. Now, the third thing you need for your trademark application is a description. The description is going to actually describe the goods and services that you are protecting in your trademark application. So if you sell accounting services for women entrepreneurs, then that might be part of the way that you describe your services in the application. The description is actually the most important part of a trademark application and is one of the reasons why I highly recommend that you work with a lawyer to register your trademarks, because the description needs to be both broad to provide you the maximum amount of trademark protection, but also narrow enough that the USPTO will actually approve your application. So once you have all of those pieces, then you fill out the rest of the trademark application, which is fairly straightforward, and you will submit that application. Then comes the fun part. That's the part where you wait a very, very long time for the government to actually do something with it. So the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office typically doesn't respond to your trademark application for about 4 months. You will get a confirmation receipt once you submit your application, but you won't hear from them for another 4 months. Now, when you do hear from them in 4 months, they will usually respond with an office action. So an office action is basically the USPTO's way of saying, we do not approve this application for this specific reason. Now, the USPTO's reason for not approving the application could be something as simple as your specimens weren't sufficient, or it could be something much more complicated where there is a likelihood of confusion between your trademark and another trademark that is already registered. So depending on how complicated the office action is, it may be really quick to respond, or it may take, time to draft a legal brief in response to their office action. Now, the office action part, once you've gotten past that, so you've responded to the office action, you've gotten the USPTO to approve your application, maybe you made some slight edits to the application to get it through, or you may have agreed to a disclaimer or something along those lines to get your application through, then your application gets approved by the examining attorney from the USPTO and moves on to publication. So the purpose of the publication process is to allow the public to oppose your trademark application. Now, it's not actually as bad as it sounds. So what that means is the USPTO will publish your trademark application in essentially a newsletter that is open to the public. So anyone could go and check it out. So what happens is if someone else feels that your mark is close enough to their mark that it's actually more like trademark infringement, or close enough that it would cause a likelihood of confusion, then they could oppose your mark. And that would be a whole nother proceeding that happens before the USPTO. The good news is that most trademark applications breeze through the publication process, no problem. So usually they wait the 30-day period, no one opposes the trademark application, and then it moves on. So that is most likely what will happen for you as well. So once your application goes through the publication process and no one opposes your mark, then you just have to wait again, because that's the stage at which your trademark actually gets approved for registration and you receive your certificate in the mail. However, it does take sometimes as much as 2 to 3 months from the end of the publication period. So this whole trademark process takes about 9 months from start to finish, and if it has a really complicated office action scenario in the middle of it, then it may take a little longer. Once you receive your trademark certificate in the mail, that's it. You're done. You have a registered trademark. You can put your certificate on the wall and be proud and start using the R with the circle around it next to your logo or your tagline or your company name or whatever it is that you trademarked to show that it is now a registered trademark. So there you have it. That is the trademark application process. I hope that answers your question about how the whole trademark thing works. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks. Thank you so much for watching Rachel Rogers TV. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. And if you never want to miss an episode of Rachel Rogers TV, use the subscriber boxes below to subscribe. It's just like DVR. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.